Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing tonight? It's early tonight. It is 7:54. And I'm not at my meeting because Tanya texted me. She's like, I'm gonna skip one tonight. I'm exhausted. And I was like, okay. And I almost went by myself, and then I was like, she was like, why don't we just catch a meeting, another meeting later in the week, something that we haven't been to before. And I was like, okay, so we're gonna catch another meeting later in the week. So I was like, you know what? I very rarely stay home on Tuesday nights, and I'm just gonna hang out. Alex had his counseling appointment. I had my counseling appointment today, and then he went over to his friend Sarah's house because she just moved into her apartment today. So he went over there to help her like get all of her stuff organized and stuff. And he was like, why don't you come over? And I was like, well, I might later. So I am vlogging early, and then once I get done with that, I'm gonna get something to eat at Fresh Time, like I had said yesterday, so I can do that. I'm gonna get the broccoli crunch salad. I'm so excited. And then I'm gonna go home and watch the last episode of Alyssa Edwards' Dancing Queen. And then after that, if he's still over there, I'm gonna probably head over there and see him. So anyway, I thought, well, I'll get a little bit of my vlog done now while it's still early. I never do this, so I have 2 hours until the grocery store closes, so I could do 2 hours of a vlog. I don't really think I have that much to talk about, but then it ends up going an hour and a half. So, Peter, what did you do today? Well, I had a fantastic day. I got up and I took the dogs outside and did my gave PB his medication, took the dogs outside, did my meditations, and sat out there and read. I did a face mask. I did a Lush cup of coffee face mask this morning, and then I wanted to take a shower before I went to my counseling appointment, but I didn't get all my stuff done that I wanted to get done in time, so I just washed my face off, went to my counseling appointment, had a fantastic appointment, and then after that, I went to the post office, and I'll show them in my vlog tomorrow, because I want to read the things to you, but the letter I don't want to read. I got an extremely, extremely, extremely nice letter from somebody that watches my videos. Really long letter, and it meant so much to me. And then the other thing was all this Hogwarts stuff, like my official letter into Hogwarts and an ID with my picture on it for Hogwarts. And I'll show you guys that stuff. It's really cool. Thank you. You guys know who you two are, so I'll show that tomorrow, that stuff on there. Well, I won't read the letter because the letter is very personal, but anyway, I got a coffee on the way to my counseling appointment, and then after, what else did I do? I did something else. Well, I went to the bank because the bank was closed yesterday, and then I came home and I took a shower, and I took the dogs out, took a shower, filmed my videos, fed the dogs, talked to Alex on the phone while he was on the way from leaving his appointment to going over to Sarah's house, and yeah, so that was my day. I cleaned out our entire kitchen. I had all these books on the counter, and I put the ones away that I'm not reading and not going to read, and so now on the counter I just have the books that I'm reading, which is like 3 books right now that I'm trying to finish, and I've been trying to finish forever. And then I have my 5 books for my Spookathon TBR. Those are the only books on my book counter area over there, and I cleaned all that area up. And then I found places for all the gifts that you guys have sent, and boxed a bunch of stuff up for Tanya, and the magazines and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, and it's all sitting there ready to go. So the kitchen is clean. It's very nice. And I had wax melts burning, and I had Natalie's apple candle that she sent me on the warmer. That was fantastic. And so the whole house smells spicy and Halloween-y. I was hoping to watch Hocus Pocus tonight, but it's you have to pay for it right now, and then it airs tomorrow and Thursday. So I just recorded it so I could have it to watch. And it's kind of warm. It's been really warm today. It is 82 degrees. But it's been beautiful. Blue skies outside. It's just really been nice. Actually, Alex said that Sarah and her friend were like at the pool today hanging out. It's like so busy out here. This restaurant has such great food. Three Wise Men, if you're ever in Broderpool. It has really fun, like really good food. Bar food, but it's great. And then, what else did I do? I don't know what else. And what's it so busy for out tonight? Must be because it's so nice. People are walking, there's dog walkers everywhere. People eating out. What a fun night. Anyway. There's a Noodles and Company right there. That Noodles, that's not where I got it from, but the Noodles and Company last night did not sit well with my stomach. Very well. I ate the rest of it when I got home last night. And, it's like, where's my pumpkin chopstick? What else was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else. I don't know what I'm hungry for, so I hope that Whole Foods has... I was kind of... not Whole Foods, but... oh, I could go to Whole Foods and see if they have that caprese sandwich. I wonder what time they close. Probably 9. Well, I'll go down here for a bit, and then I'll stop at Whole Foods and see. I might go in there and see what they have. They have that broccoli salad, too. But Whole Foods is so expensive. Do you guys ever go to Whole Foods? Like, it is really expensive compared to, like, the other places. Where is that music coming from? A bagel sandwich sounds good too. Man, it is packed tonight. Oh my god, everywhere is so packed. Insomnia cookies, delicious. They're packed right now. So yeah, I cleaned out the kitchen. That felt really good to get everything organized and straightened out. And all of that. I feel like there was something else I wanted to talk about at the beginning and now I can't remember what it was. Something funny to tell you guys. Anyway, I wanted to watch Hocus Pocus. Well, right now, sometimes when I leave, if I just leave the dogs out, I leave like a movie on in the background. Like I'll start a movie and just leave it on in the background if I'm not going to be gone for very long. And since I had no idea how long I was going to end up vlogging, I turned on Halloween H2O. I love that one. It's like one of my favorites. I don't know why, but it just is. Any of them with Jamie Lee Curtis, I love. Oh, my Lord. My mom never understood my love of horror movies. She just didn't like them at all. And I remember one year, well, I think it was the last year. Was it the last year that we went down there? It was just the two of us? I think it was. Because I had brought a bunch of movies, and I brought like Hostel 1 and 2. And I remember she was like, why are you forcing me to watch this movie? This movie is so violent. And then she kept on watching it. My mom liked 2 different kinds of movies. She loved like dramas, like very serious dramas. But she also loved comedies. Like she absolutely loved comedies. Like Caddyshack was one of her favorite movies of all time. And she loved like the Blues Brothers and what's the one about the camp? Why can't I remember? Meatballs. Is that the one with the camp? She loved any of like Bill Murray, those kind of movies. She thought all of, like anybody that came from Saturday Night Live, Gilda Radner, all of them. She loved anything with any of them in there. And my mom, like for years, like would never go and do anything on a Saturday night late because she wanted to watch Saturday Night Live. And she she just loved funny movies, and, you know, she would say, like, it just cheers me up so much. She just would get herself so tickled, you know, like, watching these absolutely hilarious, just stupid movies. And my dad loves those movies, too. Like, one of my dad's favorite movies of life is Airplane. Like, any chance my dad can get in, and I've said it in some of my videos, I get it from my dad because he says it all the time, even though it's so corny, when he'll say, like, he would say that one line, what's that guy's name? I can't think of what his name is. The guy that plays the pilot on Airplane, but he would say, Shirley, you don't mean that, and don't call me Shirley. Oh my God, my dad loves this movie too. Like, Halloween is like one of his favorite movies. He doesn't like scary movies either. Neither one of my parents liked. I mean, they didn't, like, my dad wasn't like scared of them or anything, but he just didn't see the point in watching them. And now I'll be like, well, what are you guys doing? Or we're watching a movie. He's like, your stepmom's making me watch 2 of these romantic comedies back to back. My dad loves political thrillers too, like the Jason Bourne movies, you know, like he loves that kind of stuff. Hunt for Red October, those Tom Clancy novel kind of, he loves that kind of stuff. And my dad loves old movies too, like the Thomas Crown Affair, like the original, I think it's with Steve McQueen. Both of my parents love Steve McQueen, the actor. Into this whole idea of doing movie reviews, and so I was like looking through all these channels last night that do movie reviews. Do you guys know that, like, there are some like channels that like that's all they do is movie reviews? I mean, they've been around for like 7-8 years. This one channel I was watching, this guy's, his reviews are so interesting, and he does like every movie that comes out. Like, he had just done Venom. I can't remember what the guy's name is, but it's, his like thumbnails are like nothing to look at. It's just like his picture on one side and the movie poster on the other side. And his channel is called something like Steve Reviews, and that's not it. I don't know what it's called. I can look it up later and let you guys know. But like, he does really good movie reviews. Like, I was watching it, it's like, he doesn't tell enough so that it ruins the movie, but he tells enough that it makes you either want to go see it or it's like, and he's totally on, like, they're 100% honest reviews. They're very interesting. And they're not very long. They're like 10 to 12 minutes long, all of them. And he gets like 700,000 views a video. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And I think it's just because people like so trust his reviews so much. I'm like so into this whole like review channel thing now. I sat around last night and just kind of like, after I watched the Dancing Queen episode, I watched a bunch of these different review channels. They're so interesting, like, and it's interesting what some people review. Like, this one guy does movies, but he also does like boxing matches, and then he'll do like follow-ups of boxing matches, and but his reviews are really good too. And then there's like this woman, and she does like cleaning products and stuff, and her videos are like, they're just so interesting. I don't know, like, it's kind of how I got into the whole like mommy blogger thing for a while. I don't watch them as much as I used to, but for a long time I watched like mommy bloggers, and they would talk about like packing their kids' lunches, and for some reason it just was like, I don't know, to see somebody that's so interested or so passionate about what they're talking about, or, you know, there's just something about that to me that it's like, I don't really care what the person's talking about as long as they're like passionate about it, if that makes sense. So I like that, you know, and the reviews are fun to watch because, I don't know, I was sitting there as I was watching it, I was like, these movies, because I was watching a lot of movie reviews, so I was kind of surprised I couldn't find tons of reviews about A Star Is Born, but there tend to be more reviews of kind of like action kind of movies. There were like a lot of reviews of that movie Venom, and I was like sitting there, I was like, oh my God, I could go to like 3 movies a week, and I could like review all these movies. I love to go to the movies anyway. It's an excuse to go to the movies. I can like during the week go to movies that Alex doesn't want to go to, and you know, then we can save a movie for the weekend. All these people that told me not to review The Nun, and that movie, like those movie reviews of The Nun are getting so many views. I was like, people really want to know about the nun. Like, I thought that was so interesting. And I didn't watch any of them because I don't want it to be spoiled for me. And I heard that, like, if you've seen the trailer for it, it pretty much tells you everything that you would ever need to know about the nun. I don't know, it was interesting to me to see a whole different side that I didn't even really, I mean, I've watched a lot of reviewers, but like more of like tech stuff and like food items. I don't, which tend to be mukbangs a lot of times. So I don't tend to like really watch like TV or movie show reviews. And now sometimes like a Netflix series, like if it's something I want to see, I'll go watch a review of it because there's a couple people that I really respect. There's my husband is FaceTiming me. There is a oh, what is this guy called? Lord, I can't remember, Lorden something. He does like crime documentaries, like true crime documentary reviews, and his are really interesting. And but he did say in there that he didn't like the Fox Hollow Farms documentary, which is I mean, it was kind of stupid. I do agree with that, but it was scary. It was really scary. If you watched it by yourself with the lights off. I went and like looked at that video the other day on my channel, and because I still like, to this day, when Melissa and Aaron and I went to that Fox Hollow Farms and we did like, we stayed there until 2 o'clock in the morning and we did like the paranormal experience, that video still gets comments every day. Like, people still watch that video every day, like, that don't know anything about me or anything. They like look up Fox Hollow Farms and that video comes up, which is crazy to me, you know? Sometimes videos that like I forgot I even did will like all of a sudden like people, like if something happens with like that topic or that person, all of a sudden, like, because it comes up in the creator app and you can see where people are commenting, so like all of a sudden it will like start getting like a lot of comments, and I'll be like, oh, something must be going on with this, or it must have, like, something of theirs must have gotten suggested or something like that. And it's interesting because it'll like start coming up a lot. And the Fox Hollow Farms one has been coming up a lot lately, so I wonder if somebody didn't do like a documentary, or if it was on like I know Ghost Adventures did Fox Hollow Farms, but I went in to do my October TBR for my Peter Likes Books channel today, but by the time I got ready to film it, it was so dark in the house that even with my ring light, it was like there were shadows on the wall and stuff, and I was like, you know what, I don't want to, I'll do it tomorrow. And then I was like, I don't really have that many books other than like the book club and my TBR for Spookathon. So I was like, there's not like tons of books that I want to show in my October TBR anyway, so maybe I won't even do it, you know. I love doing tag videos over there. I have felt good all day long today. I have felt happy. One of my meditations books was about just allowing yourself to be happy. It was like such a good meditation for me today. I didn't even know there was a fresh time over here. It was such a good meditation for me to read today. And it was like, just let all your worries go, just allow yourself to be happy. And it was exactly like how I was feeling at that moment anyway. I just felt like so good. I felt so centered. And I was like, oh, this is like such a great meditation for me today. It seems like the more time and energy I put in the morning to getting like balanced, the more payoff I receive as a result of it at the end of the day, you know? Which would make sense. I mean, when, you know, like the whole saying of you get what you put into it. So the more I put into it, obviously the more I'm going to get out of it, right? I should probably check with Alex before and see if they got anything to eat, because they may have got something that I want. He's like, there's this Thai restaurant that's right across from where Sarah moved into, And it is like one of the best Thai restaurants I've ever been to. Which I think is 2 or 3. One in Broad Ripple, that one. And then we went to one when we were out of town. So I've been to 3 Thai restaurants. This one though is like, their food is so spicy, and they have like 5 degrees of spiciness. It's like 1 pepper is like not spicy at all, and then like 2 peppers is like medium spicy, and like 3 is like spicy, and then 4 is like really spicy, and 5 is like burn your mouth. So the first time we went there, I was like, I like it spicy, but I don't like it too spicy, like just a little bit of spicy, right? And she was like, okay, well, you should probably get like maybe like the 3 pepper one. And I was like, okay, because you can get any of them to, like, but the spiciness doesn't have to do with the meal. It's like you can pick any meal and then just make it as spicy as you want. So I was like, okay, I'll do 3 spiciness. I could hardly even eat it. It was like literally, like they could not bring water to the table fast enough. Alex was laughing his ass off. I'm like literally like tearing up. I'm like, I can't eat this food. Like, and I didn't even keep on eating it. I was like, I can't even get it. It's like too much. And Alex like tasted it, and he can like eat anything really spicy. And he was like, it's not even that bad. I was like, and usually I can eat like really spicy food, but for some reason that night I was like, oh my God, I just like, this is insanity. It's so spicy, but it was so good. Do you ever have something like that? Like it's so good, but at the same time it's like so spicy. Oh, now I want fried rice, because I got fried rice that night. Oh, fried rice sounds so good. But it was so spicy, I was like, I can't, like, it's so good, but I can't do this. Oh my God, there's an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet. Just as I said that, I passed an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet. Isn't that kind of the idea of a buffet? Is all you can eat though? So what does that mean? I'm confused. Oh my God, I used to go to so many buffets back in the day. I loved them. I didn't even care what kind of buffet it was. I was never a big fan of like Ryan's though. I just never thought their food tasted that great. What's the one that has like the most amazing breakfast? I mean, I'm not talking about like super high. There's this like super high-end buffet. There's this buffet here, and it's like a Chinese food buffet, but they also have like a lot of seafood. Oh, what's it called? Oh, The Journey. Do y'all have The Journey where you live? God, everybody always talks about this place. I went in there and I, honest to God, felt like I was at an aquarium. It smelled so fishy. I don't eat any fish. I never have. I don't like it. The only fish I do is crab meat rangoon when I was not a vegetarian. And I can eat shrimp and fried rice, but I don't like it. I don't like to do it, but I can do it. Man, that place smells so fishy. And it was so expensive, and all these people had told us we gotta go there. They're like, they have pizza, and they have this, and I'm like, hell, Old Country Buffet back in the day had all that stuff. They had mashed potatoes and pizza and macaroni and cheese and all this kind of stuff. Then, our friends all the time, they go to this buffet up kind of by our house called Formosa Buffet. Seafood Buffet, Formosa Seafood Buffet. And I never wanted to go there because it was a seafood buffet, see? But I went in there one day, like Alex was like working late or something, and I was like, I'm just gonna go to the Formosa Buffet and see what it's about. Oh my God, you guys, it was so good. And they like had like deep dish pizza. I don't even know when it stopped. I was talking about buffets. But my husband is one of those people that hates buffets. He hates them. He's always like convinced he's gonna get sick if he eats off the buffet. I'm like, and when we went to Vegas, he was so excited about eating at the Cosmopolitan Buffet. I go, well, what is different about this buffet? And he goes, well, it's just different. And I go, no, it isn't any different. The buffet at the Cosmopolitan was pretty good. I don't know that I thought it was worth $35 or $37 or whatever it was. It was expensive. Hear a train off in the distance. I love that. Okay, I guess. That was a car that looked like a Honda too. My Anaconda don't want none. What did I get at that buffet? It was so good. They had like cream, like actual creme brulee and like glass pots and stuff. It was fantastic. They had tomato soup, little grilled cheese sandwiches. That's why Alex liked it. They had all kinds of really unique stuff. This one little buffet, it's called Dragon House in Fishers. It's a Chinese buffet that I used to go to all the time. It's one of the best Chinese buffets I've ever been to, honest to God. Like, their food is legit, tastes so good. And Tanya, like, she won't even get carry out from them. She's like, she'll go in and get the buffet and then ask for its carry out thing, because she said their carry out is worse than their buffet. I'm like, well, how's that even possible? She's like, well, I don't know, but it's the truth. She's like, their carry out is horrible, but their buffet is great, and it's true. It is so good. I used to always get white. If you want to try something, this is what's really good. You know those little dumplings, and it has that like sauce that you put on it? Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay. Get white rice and put that dumpling sauce on it. It's so good. I know it sounds like it wouldn't be, but just trust me, okay? It's like French fries and ranch dressing. It's delicious. It's like pizza and ranch dressing. It's like everything in ranch dressing. Everything in ranch dressing is delicious. Mayonnaise and ketchup go together. You know, like, I think like how the whole mayonnaise thing started for me was, I had gotten some fast food one night. This is years ago. And I think I was actually at Tanya's, and she didn't have any ranch, but she had mayonnaise. And I was like, well, I'm going to do a little mayonnaise. And so I did mayonnaise, and I kind of mixed it with my ketchup a little bit. But then I ate it alone, too, like with the French fries. And it was so good. I was like, oh, my God, this is delicious. And now I love it. I just basically love condiments. Oh, my God. I love barbecue sauce. I like honey mustard. Are there any condiments that I don't? Well, tartar sauce. I can't stand it. I can't stand the smell of it, and I can't stand anything about it. Do you guys want to know what's really, really weird? Okay. So I don't eat fish. I never have. Not even when I was like, well, I'm going to tell you a time that I used to eat fish, okay? But I rarely ever, well, I don't now. Like, I would never go in somewhere and order fish or anything. But back in the day when I would get drunk, and my friends and I would go to White Castle's or McDonald's late at night, I'd always want a fish sandwich. I don't know what it was, that I would get real drunk, and then I would crave those fish sandwiches with cheese and tartar sauce. I don't know what it is about that. I don't know how I did it now, in retrospect. Like, even just the thought of it makes me, like, I just can't even... And my mom, when I was growing up, she would, like, cook in the kitchen, like, salmon or orange roughy, like, right next to whatever she was making for me, and my food would smell like it, and the whole kitchen would smell like it, and I'd be like, she's like, it's so good for you, fish is so healthy for you. Oh, this is one thing, though, I actually did eat back in the day. This is so strange. I did eat tuna fish salad sandwiches. I don't know why, like, for me, that was different. But let me tell you, the last time that I was a vegetarian, and then I stopped being a vegetarian again, this is like years ago, I couldn't, like, before I could go and I could eat tuna fish. Like, there was something about it to me that didn't taste fishy necessarily, but I couldn't, so when I say I can't eat fish, like, I wouldn't go in somewhere and order, like, mahi-mahi or something like that. But anyway, for all the people out there that are like, he said he doesn't eat fish, but he ate tuna fish. Yeah, I used to eat tuna fish. But anyway, like, tuna fish salad sandwiches, I would never, like, you know. Okay, so anyway, I just couldn't sit down and, like, eat fish with tartar sauce. Like, to me, ugh, I don't know how people do that. So anyway, both my mother and my father love fish. And Tanya loves fish. And Alex used to not like fish, and now he's starting to eat fish because he says it's real healthy for you. That's what he says. So every once in a while, he'll get, like, fish when we go out to a restaurant. I just about sit there and gag-a-mag it because I can't even stand it. So anyway, but what was I going to say? Okay, so the first time that I was a vegetarian, though, like, before that, like, because I had done it a couple of other times, I could, like, eat tuna fish, but after this last time, for some reason, I couldn't do it anymore. Like, I tried a couple times to get it from Subway, and I just couldn't do it. I was like, I can't do it. I haven't had Subway in forever. But they do have like those veggie sandwiches at Subway. I think the last time that I went in there, or did I just get like a veggie delight? The day that my uncle passed away, because Caroline called me and I was in the parking lot for Subway, and I think I just got a big veggie delight. That actually sounds really good right now. Yeah, because I just got a bunch of like, I always get lots of lettuce, onion, green peppers, spinach. What else? Banana peppers, black olives, light mayonnaise, yellow mustard, and a little black pepper on there. Look at all these people in Zionsville out tonight too. Man, everybody, we're supposed to have, it's supposed to get really cold later in the week, and I'm wondering if everybody's like, let's go out and do stuff now before it starts getting real cold. It's probably what everybody's thinking, don't you think? Usually like dark and there's nobody out when I like drive through here, and it's like interesting seeing like most every single one of these little places, you guys, these little stores are all decorated for Halloween. It's so cute. And every like house, there's pumpkins and witches. Yep, pumpkins. Everywhere has Halloween. Oh, like they had gravestones out front. Like not real gravestones, but like this one has Halloween lights and pumpkins. I love that. American flag in the window, not so much Halloween lights. I'm gonna go down here to where the library is. I'm hungry for something sweet. I don't know what I want though. They have these salted caramel cookies at Fresh Time. I might get those. Go up to where the library is. God, look at some of these houses are incredible. My God, they're beautiful. Library is right here. God, they're so pretty, these houses. All these old houses, but like you look inside and you can see in the windows, and they all look like, you know, restoration hardware, like very kind of like modern and stuff. You know what I mean? They're all these like Victorian houses. Like, here, I'll show you, you can see. This one's like a little smaller, but do you see it has like white picket fence around it? Here, I'll show you some of these houses as I go down here. This is like one of my favorite streets in all of Indianapolis. And this isn't even really Indianapolis, this is Zionsville, but this is one of my favorite streets. Look, do you guys want to see my favorite house? Okay, I'm going to show you my favorite house. Oh, does this not go through? I thought this was the one that went to my favorite house. I just passed it, so I know it's up here. Do you see these little cute houses? Look at this. Okay. Do you see these little cute houses? Now let me show you my favorite house. It's this one right here in the corner. It's ginormous. Okay, look at this. It's beautiful. Do you see this? Look at this house. It is so gorgeous. And they like redid the whole thing. And it sits on like an entire city block. When you look inside, you can see like it is so beautiful. So anyway. Okay. Well, I'm in Zionsville, so you can go back and look at the other vlogs where I drive through Zionsville. Alex would never like a house like that. He would never want. Do I turn here? Is this the street? Yeah, I think so. He would be like, oh shit, I turned the wrong street. These streets all look the same. Well, this will take me the back way. He wants something with very little maintenance whatsoever, which I totally agree. And, I mean, we both are like, okay, our condo, even though it's small, is like the perfect size. Like, we don't need any more room than what we have. You know, my mom moved from a rather large house that I grew up in to like the condo that I'm in now, which is like small. It's like 12, 15, 17, I don't know, 1,700 square feet, I think it is. And that includes the full basement. Well, I didn't drive down the little street down there with all my favorite houses, but it's okay. And she was so much happier when she was in just her small condo. And I just think that, like, it was like a lot for her, you know, to be in a place that was a lot of maintenance. And if anything went wrong with the house, she'd always be like, I don't really know what to do, or, you know, where the money's gonna come from. Like, you know, if you have like a house and like your air conditioning breaks, and our air conditioning and the heater broke, and that was expensive. I can't imagine if you have to buy a unit for like an entire house, you know. So I don't know. And I think also because we want to get a place in Florida, it'll be nice when we can kind of like go back and forth, if that makes sense, you know, and not have to have like big places. I would rather have a small place and be able to travel, and all that. Plus, it's perfect for the dogs and it's perfect for us. We don't need any more space than we have right now. I mean, would it be nice to have a little bit more space? Sure. Would I love to have that house over there? Yeah, but would I want to maintain it? No. I used to think, like, back in the day, like, I would always have a house, like, in a neighborhood, and I would never live in a condo or an apartment or anything. I loved living, actually, I loved living in an apartment. The problem was that, you know, when you live in an apartment, like, your money isn't going towards anything, you know? And my cousin, she'd be like, Peter, you're spending so much money a month in an apartment. She's like, your apartment's expensive. She's like, that could be a mortgage on a house. You know, I mean, I think back on that sometimes, that like, I paid for an apartment. I mean, I lived in an apartment from the time I turned 18 till 36. So 18 years of my life. You know, if I had been paying a mortgage every month for what I was paying for rent, I mean, I would have owned a house, you know? But I think at the same time, it like scared me. Like the adulthood of all of that scared me. You know, even when people around me, like my dad and my cousin and stuff, would be like, you need to buy a house. Like, this is ridiculous. But like at the same time, like I loved living in an apartment. I had really nice apartments and they were very safe. You know, if something broke, you just called maintenance and they came and cleaned it up, or came and fixed it up. I liked living in an apartment, and there were, you know, for a long time it felt very safe to me, and it never felt transient. Like, I stayed in apartments for long periods of time. Like, my first apartment that I lived in, I moved in when I was 18. I moved out of it when I was, okay, so my first boyfriend and I moved into apartment with my roommate, and I would have been 24 at the time. So what is that? 6 years I was in that first apartment. And then we stayed in that apartment for like 3 years. And then she moved, and he and I got our own apartment in the same apartment complex, and we stayed there for 2 years. And then he and I broke up, and then I stayed there for another year and a half, so I was there almost 4 years. And then my ex and I started dating. And that last year that I was in that apartment was when he lived out of town and we went back and forth. And then he and I moved in to my last apartment in the same apartment complex, because I love that apartment complex. And it had private entrances and stuff, so it felt very much like a condo, but it was an apartment. And the maintenance, or the maintenance people were like great, and the management company was fantastic. They just were fantastic always. Then, okay, so we moved in there, and I would have been there. We were together 6.5 years. So we would have been there 5.5 years, and then I stayed there another year. Well, I stayed there till our lease was up, which was in October. So 6 years total. I think we had just signed a lease, and then we broke up like 2 months later. So yeah, so 6 years I was in that apartment. And then that's when I moved into my mom's condo, which is now my condo. But I feel like, you know, God, like, so what, 15, 18 years of my life that I could have been putting money towards a mortgage. I had a friend of mine back in the day that I worked with, and I remember I asked him one time, he was like, if I was like in my mid-50s, he would, or if I was in my, I'm not even there yet, Peter, don't borrow trouble yet. Don't borrow time. If I was in my mid-20s, he was probably in his early 50s, and I remember I asked him one time, I was like, his name was Larry. I was like, Larry, I go, if you had any advice to give me, any worldly advice, what advice would you give? And he goes, just one? I said, just one piece of advice. What would you give me? And he said, buy a house when you're young and invest in something. And I was like, seriously? He was like, yeah, you won't regret it later. And I have always remembered that. I have always remembered what he told me, but like I didn't do it, you know? He was hilarious. I always ask people for like advice, you know, like people that I respect, like how they live their lives. You know, I ask them for like advice, and I don't always 100% agree with it, right? But like this guy that, my friend's dad who passed away earlier in the year, he was the one that like, he came to our wedding, and he and his wife and stuff, and I asked him, I said, what's your one piece of advice for marriage? And he said, divorce is not an option. And I was like, okay. Divorce is an option, like it is. And he goes, yeah, it is. He goes, but if you go into marriage with this attitude that divorce is not an option, and I want to make this very clear, okay? I'm not talking about when you're in highly abusive environments. I'm not talking about when you're in situations that aren't safe for you, things like that, okay? I'm not talking about somebody that is cheated on multiple times. I'm not talking about somebody that's bringing harm to your life, okay? I'm talking about normal marriages that have their problems. He said, you know, I mean, he didn't say all that. I'm saying that right now. But anyway, that's what he was implying. He said, if you go into your marriage with this attitude that, you know, divorce is not an option, and that no matter what happens, you're going to work through it. He said, and you're going to, you know, expend all resources possible to fix your marriage if something goes wrong. He said, your marriage will be stronger in the end. And he goes, I think too many people give up too quickly in marriage. And I think that's true, with the exceptions that I just gave. There are obviously many times that people should get out, or, you know, and I think when you've crossed a point where you're no longer happy, you know, with my ex and I, like, I think had we started going to counseling 3 or 4 years earlier, whatever, there were some other circumstances on his end, you know, I think, like, had that kind of, I think maybe, like, you know, but it was at the end, neither one of us was happy. It was time to go our separate ways. And I think sometimes acceptance of that is hard, it's sad, you know, but like, you know, I remember my dad said too at my wedding, like, because my dad spoke at my wedding, and he said, you know, I hear a lot that people say that marriage is 50-50, and he goes, that's not true. He said marriage is 100%, 100%. You both have to be willing to put 100% into marriage. He said, because see, at times, he said, if you're both only giving 50%, and let's say at one point somebody's giving 10% and the other person's giving 40%, you're only getting 50% out of the marriage. He said, but if you're both trying your best to put 100% into the marriage and one person's falling short of that, and he goes, it's 80, 100, he goes, you got a better chance of survival. And he said, no, marriage is easy. Marriage is tough. And you have to, you know, guard your marriage with everything that you have. And I think it's true, you know, like, I think for a while we lived in a divorced generation, you know, like, and it started really with like my parents, that age group. It was before that, but like you really didn't hear of people getting divorced before like, you know, late 70s, early 80s was really when you started seeing this like mass amount of people getting divorced, right? And then it was like, but after that, it's just like, seems like so many people get divorced, you know? People are married for 6 months, they get divorced. People are married for a year, they get divorced, you know? And to some degree, and I'm very much a traditionalist when it comes to marriage, you know? And that doesn't by any means mean that my marriage has been easy. Not at all. And, but I think that, you know, like, marriage is also about the work that you put into it. I read this thing at my cousin's wedding I wrote for her. I should read it on here sometime. It was called Moira's Cup of Mystical Tea. And it was about my cousin and Mike, and they went to go their tea leaves read by this woman that was supposed to be able to like tell you if your marriage or your relationship was going to last. It was something I just wrote up at the time, and I read it. She asked me to write something and read it at her wedding, so this is what I wrote. And in it, what I said was, you know, that marriage is really not about like the romance and the butterflies in your stomach and the clocked in hours that you have, you know. It's not about the holidays that you spend together. It's not about the presents that you buy each other and the vacations that you take. All of that is nice, and all of that makes it fantastic. But marriage is really about, at the end of the night, you know, when you're coming to bed and you notice that he's asleep and his feet are stuck out of the blanket and you cover them up because you don't want him to get cold. That is what marriage is about, you know? And it's the little things. And maybe not always thinking about yourself first, I think, is what marriage is really about. Like, you want to really be taught to be selfless, get married. And if you're married, you know what I'm saying. Or if you're in a long-term relationship, I think it's the same thing. You know, you really want to be taught to be selfless, get married, or be in a long-term relationship and have your partner get sick, right? And they're a baby, or they don't feel good, or they're whining, or they're crying, you know? And you're like, I just want to watch TV. But you don't, you know, because you love that person and you care about them. And so you want them to feel better. You want them to get better. You don't want them to worry about things. And I think that's what marriage and relationships are about, is like teamwork. You know, Alex always uses the word teamwork with me. He's like, but we're a team, you know, we're a team. We got to do this as a team. And it's like, and I love that he, you know, reiterates that word. And because we are a team, you know. Oh, it's going to stop. Hold on. 23. Okay. So anyway, I'm like, I turned it off. I was like, when it stopped, I was like 24, 4, okay, 48. So no, anyway, but like Alex always reiterates us being like a team, you know. He's always like, we're a team, you know, we work together as a team. And I think it's important, you know. And I really think it's also important too to like keep the romance alive, like, and just maybe in just little ways, you know, like, somebody was asking me, like, not too long ago, I said this on here, and then, like, somebody asked me again, like, not like YouTube world, but like, they're like, do you and your husband make out? I'm like, yeah. Don't you and your husband? They're like, not like I wish we did. And I'm like, oh. But I definitely think that the more you're together, the more effort you have to make for that stuff. You know, like, I don't think just, like, happen naturally. Like, you really, I think, sometimes have to work a little harder at it. At the romance, at keeping it alive. It's not as easy as it is when you first get together, you know, and you're like, just like, you know what I mean? Like, just so physically attracted. And it's not like I feel like any less to my husband now. Like, in some ways, like, I look at him and I'm like more physically attracted to him now than when I first met him. But at the same time, it's like finding time. And then, you know, back in the day, it wasn't about finding time. It was like, we didn't care, you know, if we were half an hour late to something. It was just like, let's make out, or you know what I'm saying. But anyway, but I think, like, as you get in longer relationships, it's like you just don't make that time for each other. And I think it's important, and that's why, like I was saying, you know, like, date nights are important and things like that. Time exclusively for yourselves, and you know, to have that alone time. especially I think with people that have kids. Like Tanya and her husband are really good about that, and they always have been. Like, you know, they would always like once or twice a week, like go out for like a very romantic dinner, and they still do that, you know. And even when like Nick was growing up, you know, he had like a babysitter or something or whatever. Yeah. I'm proud of our marriage. It's not, you know, like marriage, like I said, marriage isn't easy, and I feel like the more work we put into it, you know, like, and it doesn't always just happen in our marriage counseling sessions. Like today, some of my session I spent, you know, like asking my counselor, like, about Alex's, like, his communication patterns and how he talks, and like what are the best ways for me to respond to that, you know. And like my husband's like really opening up emotionally, but he can be somewhat emotionally guarded, and I was like asking him, you know, like how do I respond to that, you know. And he was like, you know, it's got to be like, you know, on Alex's like cues and whatever, because he doesn't, you know, like Melissa was texting us the other day, and she was like, she knew that we had gone and seen A Star Is Born, and she was like, did you guys cry? And I was like, yeah. And Alex was like, at what part or something? And she was like, any of it. Did you cry? Did you cry? Did you cry? And it's like, you know, like Alex isn't somebody that, like, if you ask him if he cried, he's like to him that's more of a personal question than it is to me, because I cry all the time. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't really understand, I think, why she was asking it. And then she was like, well, I didn't cry, and I don't know why I didn't cry. I'm like, cause you're a cold-hearted snake, look into his eyes. Do you remember that song by Paula Abdul? Hey, Paula. I work my ass off. I loved that show, Hey Paula, back in the day. I miss some of the reality shows. God, they just make me so sad, though. Like Anna Nicole Smith, she's gone. That whole storyline of Anna Nicole Smith is so tragic, isn't it? With her and her son and all of it. It's just so sad. I used to religiously watch her show. I don't know what the fascination about her was. Anna Nicole. And The Simple Life, that might have been one of the most fantastic reality shows of life. And Absolutely Fabulous, that's not a reality show, but I used to watch that all the time too. What else did I watch back in the day? Lost. Oh God, I loved Lost. Isn't it weird, like, once you stop watching a TV show, you can't, like, really remember? I was like, Walking Dead, I think, starts tonight. And, does it start tonight? Like, I feel like it starts tonight because it was like it was called like A New Beginning or something. And I saw it come up, and I, like, read underneath there about what's going to happen. And I was like, oh, well, I've got 2 seasons left, so I have no clue what that's about whatsoever. Actually, like, a season and a half. I'm like, I have no idea what they're talking about with any of that kind of stuff right there. So, there's my library. I love you, library. Now that I have my counter cleaned off, I can go to the library and check out books that I'll probably never read. I do want to go, like, get a Halloween book, though, at the library. I need to write down some movies I definitely want to see for Halloween. Is Whole Foods closed already? It can't be closed this early. No. No, say it ain't so. No, it's not closed, but it sure does look empty. What time they close? Panda Express. What time does Panda Express close? I feel like Whole Foods might close at 9. If somebody's in Panda Express, I can really do Panda Express. Penn Station. I love Penn Station. What time does Whole Foods close? Okay, I'm gonna go in here to Whole Foods and get something for dinner, and I will show you what I get, and I'll be back in just a second. Bye. Okay, I got the most bizarre dinner. Let's just put it that way. First of all, I got a lemonade. I'm actually gonna go to Fresh Time really quick because look, it's my lemonade that I got. I got these. Have you ever had these? Zevia sodas. But I also got a lemonade. Here it is. Okay, lemonade from Whole Foods. Their Whole Foods lemonade is so good. I love lemonade. Oh my God, I love it so much. They have all these pumpkins out here. Look, they have all these pumpkins and mums and stuff. And look, those mums don't look very good. I don't know how much their pumpkins are, but I got broccoli cheddar soup, and then I got a peanut butter and jelly sandwich because they didn't have this caprese sandwich that I wanted, an orzo salad because I went to go see, like they didn't have it. Like sometimes you can just like go through like the deli section and buy it. They've already like put it in the containers. The broccoli crunch salad that I like. So I went up to the counter and I was like getting it from the counter, and the woman was so nice, and she's helped me before and she knows I'm a vegetarian, and I said, can I get like a small container of that broccoli? She goes, do you know that there's bacon in there? And I said, there is? And she's like, yeah. She's like, we just started putting bacon in it. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So I was like, yeah, I guess I don't want that. So I was like, well, give me the orzo salad. And she's like, that's my favorite. And I said, it's one of my favorites too. So I got that, and then I got these things. I got some cookies. I got some honey, little 99-cent bag of chips. Oh, I got a piece of cornbread, jalapeno cornbread. But look at these, you guys. Little Secrets spiced pumpkin pie chocolate things. Dark chocolate pieces. No artificial flavors, or no artificial colors or flavors, fair trade ingredients. So I thought, well, let's try these. Let's see. Why can't I open the top of this thing? It's like, finally got it, okay. Let's smell it first. Oh my God. I have a feeling these will be kind of like pumpkin pie M&Ms. Oh my God. If you go to Whole Foods, you want these are $3.99, but you get like a pretty big bag. They taste exactly like chocolate on the outside, pumpkin pie in the middle. Oh my God. Oh, they're so good. Now I just want to go home and eat, but I really want this broccoli salad. What time is it? What's still time? It's 9:15. So I'm going to go in here and ask them if their broccoli salad has bacon in it, which it better not, because I've read the ingredients on it though before here. I don't usually ever get it at Whole Foods. I've gotten it before, but not usually. I usually get the orzo salad there. But Fresh Time, I always get it. And I've read I usually read the ingredients of the deli stuff. So if it has it on there, I'll be really surprised. But I don't think it does. I got this little chocolate too. They had in the line. Where is it? Everything is crunching my cornbread down here. Anyway, she told me, she was like, oh my God, this chocolate is so good. Oh, here it is. It's a little Halloween chocolate. You guys ready? If I can grab it, actually, out of this bag, since it keeps on moving away from me with my thumb. There it is. See, it's this little Halloween candy. It has an owl on the cover of it. It was like 99 cents for this little piece of candy, but she said it was so good, so I was like, I've got to have it. Okay. You can get it in milk chocolate and dark chocolate, and I got it in milk chocolate. Basically, a piece of chocolate. That is really good, though. Oh my God. Oh, that is fantastic. So good. You guys, I am such a chocolate addict. I love chocolate so much. You know, I was thinking about this the other day. There was this little candy store. Like, I don't really see candy stores that much anymore. I see them in the airport sometimes. But like, I don't, maybe because I don't go to the mall or something, maybe they have them in malls, but there was this little candy store in the little strip mall by our house, the one where I talked about how the movie theater was there, and it was called the Sweet Tooth. And my mom and I swear, we went in there like twice a week. My mother loved candy. Like, she loved candy. And didn't try to hide her secret of candy either. I can tell you right now, my mother, what she would have in her house. She always had bowls of candy around the house, always. Do people even do that anymore? She did. She always had bowls of candy. And right now, she would have candy corn. My mother loved candy corn. And she also loved the little pumpkins that are like made out of the same material as candy corn. My mother loved that. So that would be what she would have in her bowls right now in her house if she was alive. She'd have all that kind of stuff. I didn't love that stuff. I don't love it. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. You know what I mean? I can do a candy corn or a candy pumpkin, but they're not my favorites. But my mom loved chocolate. She also loved caramels. Caramels were like her favorite of life. Caramels. But anyway, as I'm saying this, there's this big sign up here for caramel apples. Isn't that so funny? I think there's somewhere around here there's like a little candy store. Come on, come back up. It's now on Royal Rugs, Gallery of Rugs. Come back to the candy corn, or candy apples. I want to see what it was. Nah, but anyway, we would go in there and she'd say you can get whatever you want to get. And I'd always get like a chocolate bar or something. My mother would get these they always had them at the counter, and they were like these real soft like caramels that were like this big. They were like homemade that they would get from somewhere, you know. My mother loved them. Oh, she'd love them. She'd just go on and on and on about them. My mom, her whole life, like, she never kind of, like, lost some of that, you know, that, like, kind of, like, things that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, loving candy or sweets and ice cream, you know, she'd always got excited about all that kind of stuff. You know, she never lost that. Whereas other people be like, oh, no, I'll pass on dessert. My mother would be like, hell yes, I'm having dessert. I didn't come out to dinner not to have dessert. And Melissa's like that, and I love that. Melissa always gets dessert no matter where we go. She always, always, always gets dessert. There used to be at this place called Champs that we used to always go, the four of us. There was this thing called Cookie Express or Cookie Supreme or something. It's like they put this like cookie dough in this skillet, and then they cook it enough so that it doesn't become a cookie, but it's soft, and they put ice cream on top of it. Oh my God, it's so great. And Melissa would always be like, we're getting that. And whenever we get a Cheesecake Factory, she's always like, you're getting cheesecake, right? We always get cheesecake when we go with Melissa to Cheesecake Factory. Okay, I'm going into now another store, Fresh Time. Maybe I need to have one more spiced pumpkin pie, dark chocolate pieces. Just call it what it is. Okay, it's an off-brand M&M. More expensive. So good. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, let me tell you how not happy I am right now. So I went in there and I read the broccoli crunch salad, and it has bacon in it. I've read the ingredients so many times, and I don't know, because like maybe it's just like I read through like the main ingredients and then it goes down, and then after a certain point, like it was like towards the bottom, I was like, how did I miss this? I cannot tell you how many times I've eaten that, you guys, and I have never tasted bacon in it. Like, never. I've never seen it in there. I've never tasted it in there. I just, like, I am so baffled by this. So anyway, so don't eat if you're a vegetarian, don't eat the broccoli crunch salad, but I'm pissed about it now. But I got the bow tie bruschetta, and I read the ingredients on everything, and there was nothing in there, so anyway. But, and then I got one of these little sticks. These little, have you ever done these before? I've never done this. This is root beer honey, and I guess you just like bite it off or eat it off or whatever. I'm gonna do it later. Have you ever done these? I've never done them. I'm excited about it. But anyway, but when I was like in there, I noticed like the containers that look just like this. I was reading the back of them, right? For the ingredients. And they had Greek salad, and then they had this lemon capellini, and I was reading those, and I was like, they have these exact same ones at Meijer. And so I started looking at them closer, and I'm like, these are the exact same, like, they're not even a brand. It just looks like the ones at Meijer look like Meijer brand, and this looks like this would just be Fresh Time, like from the deli. But they're not. It's the exact same ones, you guys. At Meijer, they're literally like $2-something. They're $4.99 at Fresh Time. The same exact thing, marked up $2. That's crap. That should be in my review channel, shouldn't it? So anyway, I'll stick with my peanut butter and jelly. And if there's any bacon in that, don't tell me, because I don't want to know. Because I'm hungry. And now I'm pissed about that. Well, I know I can't have that anymore. I can't tell you how many times I mean, I've read it. I always read the deli stuff. Anyway, especially because I knew it. It doesn't matter, but anyway. So now I'm going home, and I called Alex back when I was in there, and he's over at his friend's house still, and they're eating. He's having pad thai. He goes, from my favorite place. I was like, I knew you were gonna have that. And they're having fun. So they're hanging our TV and like our paintings and stuff. It's weird to think that after 9 years she's here and he can just drive 10 minutes. She lives like 2 seconds from Tanya, and it's like weird to think that she's like right up the street, you know? I'm happy for Alex. You know, all this time that I've been able to just go pick up Tanya and go drive around and stuff like that, and he hasn't had a friend to do that with, and I felt bad for him, you know? I was like, I think like that's something that we take for granted sometimes when, you know, a lot of people don't have many friends or any friends, you know, like when I've done videos about friends, that's always like a comment that I get on my videos. People will be like, well, I don't have any friends, you know? And I think to even have one good friend or one kind of good friend, and I think sometimes we take that for granted, and then to have that friend be accessible, you know, 5 minutes from you where you can go see them whenever you want. You know, there's a lot of people that don't have the ability to do that. And so, I don't know. A couple years ago, it was like really hard, like this is before the YouTube stuff, but it was really hard for Alex. He had a really good friend of his, another really good friend, and her name was Sarah too, and she ended up, well, she got married, and then she moved to California with her husband, and then they had a baby, and like, and that was like Alex's like friend that he would go do a lot of stuff with here, you know, and then when she moved, it was like he didn't really have a lot of people to hang out with except for like work people. And I could tell that he was like, I mean, we would do stuff, right? But like, you know, I have my like meetings and Tanya and stuff like that. And that's when we started doing more stuff with like Jason and Melissa, and going out and doing couple stuff. But like, I could tell that he was kind of lonely, you know, and there was like a whole winter that he never went out, like not one night. Like he didn't go out ever, like not at all. And I'd be like, you sure you don't want to go out? And he'd be like, there's nobody to go out. Nobody wants to go out. And he would say, like, I really miss Sarah, you know? And I would feel bad about going to drive around, you know, like with Tanya and getting a Coke and something, because even just that small act was something that he couldn't do, you know? So I'm so happy for him now that she's here and he can see her and all that stuff, because I think it's important. I think people in our lives is important. I was going to do a live stream tonight, but I think I'm going to pass. I've done a lot today. It was interesting when I like made the video on Sunday. And I said in there that I didn't make videos on any other of my channels, which I have to tell you was really good for me just to take a day off. You know, I don't really ever do that. And, and that day I just didn't feel real driven to do it, you know? But then yesterday I was like totally driven to make videos. And today I was like so excited to make videos, you know, and coming up with ideas for my review channel and my booktube channel and stuff. And I was excited about vlogging tonight, you know, and that's why I did it earlier. And, you know, I think like it was good for me, and you guys were so awesome. You were just like, Peter, you got to take care of yourself, you know, whatever. And, I don't know, it was nice to have that day. I mean, I have like roughly made minimum 3 videos, you know, on my channels every day for like almost 2 years now. And I love it, right? So it's weird for me when I take a day and I don't make videos. Like, it feels very, very bizarre. Because that's just something that I love doing, so I do it every day. You know, it'd be like if you got up and you exercised or ran every day, and then like you're like, okay, I'm gonna take a day, and you hadn't done that in like a year. And I mean, there's been days I have done it, but not many. And it's typically on a day that like I pre-filmed videos or something, you know, it would feel like out of sorts for you. You'd be like, this doesn't feel right, like this feels off, you know what I mean? And it did at first, but then it was nice just to kind of like relax and enjoy the day. It's nice. So I'm actually gonna get off here. And I was like, well, maybe I'll come back later and vlog and stuff, but I think that I'm gonna go in and while I'm eating, render the vlog now. I mean, it's only like 9:30, yeah, 9:35. Render the vlog now so that when I get up tomorrow morning, I can just like upload it right away and have it ready to go. So yeah, so I think this is just a little bit over an hour tonight. I'll try to make tomorrow's a little bit longer. I'll try to vlog throughout the day and stuff like that. I know people like the longer ones. But anyway, this has been nice tonight doing it this time. This has been really kind of fun. And to have you guys go with me while I go pick out my dinner and stuff like that. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. It's hump day. Enjoy your Wednesday. And yeah, if you're wanting to watch Hocus Pocus, it's on Freeform tonight and tomorrow night, so you can record it or put it on your DVR. Alex always, whenever I say record, he always goes, even though it says record on the TV, he goes, on your VCR tape? Yeah, on my VCR tape. So anyway, why just Hocus Pocus, you might ask? I don't know. Tonight, they're doing that 31 Days of Halloween on Freeform, and it's like, the movies tonight are like Mrs. Doubtfire. I was like, how is that a Halloween movie? The Addams Family. Is that a Halloween movie? I don't think so. There's enough Halloween movies. Why are we putting Mrs. Doubtfire in there? That doesn't even, is that a Halloween movie and I'm stupid? Like, I saw the movie. I don't remember it being a Halloween movie. Anyway, you guys, okay, I'm gonna get off here. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.